Um, Welcome to the Week 7 Power Rankings. Um, yeah, for this week, this year has just gotten crazier. But yeah, let's get right into it. Jacksonville. I had the Jaguars at number 10. Despite losing to Seattle, they dropped 4 spots. Yeah, the Jaguars are a really good team. They still are. But the Seahawks, and this is what I thought was going to happen, the Seahawks were just too much for them, and the Jaguars just came off a crazy win, against the Chiefs, which I feel like the Chiefs underestimated the Jaguars, and that is why they lost. Same with because what we saw against Detroit was not the same Chiefs team we saw against Jacksonville, so that's why I say that. Yeah, I think the Jaguars are still a really good team. They're 4-2. They can really sneak under the radar, and there's other teams that are also sneaking under the radar that aren't going to be in the top 10 yet, but they may be in the future. But yeah, Jaguars, they're 4-2. The tie between them and the Colts are no longer there. The Colts now have firm control of that division, but the Jaguars are still right there. So we will see what happens. I predicted the Jaguars to win the division at the beginning of the year. I did not expect the Colts to go 5-1 either, but yeah, the Jaguars, they're a really good team, and that's pretty much all I have to say. They didn't really surprise me against the Seahawks, and they also didn't disappoint me. They did pretty much what I thought they were going to do. So yeah, week number 9, I have Seattle. Seattle, same thing. Did they impress me? Did they not? Like Seattle, they obviously had to because they went up. They weren't even in the top 10. Yeah, I did not expect that defensive line to just go crazy on Jacksonville. That was the one thing I did not expect. But other than that, I mean, Seattle is exactly who I thought they were. And honestly, I always thought this team was a dark horse to win. I wasn't able to make my NFC West predictions this year, but if I had of, and this is pretty much what I would have said, Seattle, I think, can make the playoffs. I think they're a good team, and we'll see. This is everyone, pretty much all the coaching staff, second year aside from the offensive coordinator, but this is Mike Macdonald's second year, head coach Mike. So yeah, it seems to be working. For so far, they're 4-2, and they're playing the Texans. So on Monday night, that should be fun. But yeah, I didn't really learn much about Seattle either. They just kind of move up to 9, and we'll see if they can continue to move up. Number 8, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, I still have them in the top 10. They lose again, they're not in the top 10. Alright, I promise you that. Eagles might be in the top 15 if they're lucky if they lose to Minnesota. Minnesota is also getting close to the top 10, but not quite there yet. They didn't play this week, so if they did play and they won and they look good, they might be in the top 10. But the Eagles are number 8. Alright, they're number 8. And 2 straight losses. This isn't good. We went from number 1 to number 2 to number 8, and that was just a bad loss. You can't blame it on the refs. You can't blame it on anyone else. It was just a bad loss. Jackson Dart, he looks really good. He looks like he might be the real deal, but he's only played 3 games, so we need more of a sample size. The Eagles, they got to play a full 4 quarters. If they can't play a full 4 quarters, they're not going to win these kind of games, and they showed it. They showed up for like 1 quarter. Even the first quarter, they didn't really show up. They showed up for the second quarter. They got the lead, and then it just fell apart after that. That interception, at like the 15-yard line. We were about to score. It was like 27-17, I think. Russell Wilson had just come in because Jackson Dart got hurt, and the Eagles got the ball, and it looked like we were going to score. I'm thinking, okay, we're starting to build momentum here, and then it just completely flatlined with that pick. Giants beat us at least they didn't beat us at home. We're playing at home 2 weeks from now against New York. We better not lose to the Giants at home. If we lose to the Giants at home, we're done. Our season's over. But yeah, am I on the Fire Petula? Not quite yet. We were in the same position last year. In fact, last year we were 4-2 as well. So with the whole, yeah, we gotta get rid of Sirianni, we gotta get rid of Nick Sirianni. Like, I was personally on the Fire Sirianni train last year because of what I was watching. Like, what is this? But I said that, hey, all of a sudden we had a breakout game against New York to get us to 4-2. We didn't have that breakout game this week, but we're still 4-2. So we'll see. Is this history repeating itself, and then we ultimately win the Super Bowl again? Probably not, but that'd be pretty cool if it was. And yeah, we just kind of have to hope that's what's going to happen, and the offense starts moving forward, because the defense looks good. It looks fine. Like, we are great on defense. However, the penalties are becoming a problem. Not in this game, but especially in that Broncos game. Like, a lot of those penalties that were penalties, I think they were penalties. Yeah, this sloppiness on defense, especially towards the end of the game. We can't have that, especially if it's a close game. But other than that, I mean, Eagles, they're number 8 still. They're the defending Super Bowl champs. They're only 4-2, so we'll see. Will we beat the Vikings? Beating Kirk Cousins. Wait, not Kirk Cousins. Wait, Carson Wentz. Yeah, I hope so. But I don't know. If you saw my predictions video, I'm predicting the Vikings will beat us, unfortunately, just because they've looked a little bit better. I hope we don't lose 3 straight, but especially after winning 4 straight, that would suck. But yeah, Eagles are number 8. We'll see if we move up or down. Alright, number 7, the Broncos. They earned it. They're number 7. They're ahead of us. They beat us. Yeah, Denver, you're 7. You're doing well. You did exactly what I thought you were going to do, which was win against the Jets. But I was not. And I said this in my predictions video. I would not be surprised if the Broncos lose to the Jets. They didn't. It was a really weird game. But I said it, like, I would not be surprised, because the Jets, they're 0-5. They haven't won a game yet. They're in London. It would just make sense. They just came off a crazy victory against the Eagles. Everything would make sense. And then they ultimately didn't. They got lucky. They didn't win. They did win. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But the Broncos are 7 for now. They keep winning. They're probably going to be in the top 5 soon. Number 6, I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did they look great against the Browns? No, but they won. And that's all it's going to take for them, is just a win in that division. That division is sloppy. It's over. The Ravens are 1-5. The Browns are 1-5. The Bengals are 2-4. And then you have the Steelers at 4-1. All the Steelers need to do is basically win this season. Just win, and they're gonna win. And they're gonna win the division easily, because all the other teams are doing is just losing. Even without Lamar Jackson, the Ravens have a bye week now, so they need to get their act together. But if they don't win, I mean, 1-5 start is awful. But we're not talking about the Ravens. We're talking about the Steelers. Steelers, they're good. They're a good team. Did I think that was going to happen with Aaron Rodgers? No, but it did. So, yeah, Steelers are 4-1 right now, and we'll see. Maybe they'll win a playoff game this year, but no, I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see who they play. Number 5, the Green Bay Packers. You almost lost to Joe Flacco for the second 2 times this season. Did we learn? Yes. Did the Packers move up from 7 from last week? Yes, they moved up. But they still didn't look the best. Like, it looked like they won, and they won pretty efficiently, but the Bengals were still in there fighting. And I honestly thought for a while, especially after Jordan Love threw that interception, Bengals may actually beat the Packers, and Joe Flacco beats the Packers for the second time this season, and then the Bengals will stop winning. But the Packers, they're number 5. They were number 5 at the beginning of the year, and now they're number 5 going into week 7. Do I think they're going to stay at number 5? I don't know. They do not look like the Super Bowl contenders everyone thought they would be when they got Micah Parsons, because that pass rush has not looked the best with Micah Parsons. So what's going on? I don't know. But right now, Packers are still winning, so they're number 5. But I got a feeling the train is going to stop and is going to start moving backward. And I would not be surprised if the Packers collapse. Personally, I would not. Number 4, I've got the Buffalo Bills. The Bills only go down 1 spot. Yes, they lost to Atlanta, but it was a bad game. And so, okay, this is now the second straight bad game. Like, the Patriots, I think, just surprised the Bills. The Falcons also, I think, just surprised the Bills. I don't think anyone thought that. I don't think the players thought, the Bills thought, oh, we're playing the Falcons, they're a good team. Because they didn't act like that's what they were doing. The score ended up being 14-24. There was a touchdown that was called back because Drake London stepped out of bounds, but I mean, if that touchdown stood, it would have been 31-14, and that just, it was over. Like, the score shows a 10-point game, but the game itself was all Atlanta. It was all, there was no point that the Bills had this game. From that first drive, it should have been obvious that this was going to at least be a dogfight. Bills go down, score as well. And then both teams punt, and then and there was this all Atlanta after that. Atlanta just ran Buffalo over at that point. This game was never a contest after that punt. And yeah, Buffalo did come back in that third quarter to make it a 14-21 point game, but then they just flamed out after that. So I don't know what's going on with Buffalo. They have a bye week, so they get to figure things out, but I would not be surprised if I drop them this week for next week just because they've not looked the best. But I'm going to keep it at number 4 because we know that the Bills are the Bills. Josh Allen is Josh Allen, but he was trying to do everything in that game and ultimately didn't work. So, yeah. Number 3, got the Detroit Lions. Lions from 3rd to 1st to back down to 3rd. What was that? I don't know what that was. That game... And let's set aside the penalties. Lions did not look like they could win this game. It just didn't look like, initially it looked like they may. It was like 10-6. But I'm looking at the score and it's the point. The gap's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm thinking, yeah, Kansas City's gonna win this game. Which is funny because I'm actually 1-5 in predicting Chiefs games this year. The only game I've gotten right is the Giants game. Everything else I've gotten wrong. Lions, you could have stayed number 1. All you had to do was win. That's all you had to do. But they didn't, and they're number 3 now, so they're getting passed up by 2 teams that I think could be a Super Bowl. These next 2 teams may play in the Super Bowl against each other. The way the league has gone so far, that would not surprise me. Number 2, I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 5-1. There's only 3 teams that have one win, that have one loss. The Steelers, the Buccaneers, and then the Colts. And we'll talk about the Colts later. Yep, the Colts are number 1. The Buccaneers, they look unstoppable. They do. And I think this week is going to be where they finally fall. But the Buccaneers just look unstoppable. Baker Mayfield looks unstoppable. It doesn't matter if they don't have Ibuka or Chris Godwin or Bucky Irving. Like, their depth, the Buccaneers' depth seems to be working just fine. So they have enough depth that they can handle it. However, like I showed in the predictions for this week, I think their luck's going to run out because of who they're playing. However, Buccaneers are 5-1. I think they're by far going to win the division. I don't think Atlanta is that good yet. So, yeah, give it to Tampa. I think you can pretty much give it to Tampa already. But Carolina is also another team that's right there too. Number 1, the Indianapolis Colts. It was obvious who I had number 1 after I said Tampa. The Colts are number 1, and this is a team that I've been wanting to put at number 1 for a little bit, but the Colts have not played a lot of good teams. So I'm thinking, okay, wait, we'll see when the good teams slip up, because you would have the Eagles, you have the Bills, you had the Lions, who just looked unstoppable. So it's like, okay, yeah, Colts also look unstoppable, but I don't think they're there yet. I don't think they can compete with these teams. They absolutely can, I think. The Colts, are they going to make the Super Bowl this year? Maybe. The way it's going, I would not be surprised. Do I think personally that they can? No. But it really depends on who they play. They got what would have been a really good game, but the Chargers are getting more and more banged up. So this week, the Colts, I think, will go 6-1. Yeah. The Colts, they're really good. They're number 1. And yeah, we'll see what happens for the rest of the season. But right now, going to week 7, going into week 7, they're number 1 in my opinion. The Bills have kind of not done the best. The Lions kind of stumbled this week, and then the Eagles also are going down. They're the only 3 teams, in my opinion, I thought were better than the Colts or Buccaneers, but now that they've just had too many losses, I would put, like, Colts and Tampa and the Buccaneers. This would not surprise me at all if this is a Super Bowl matchup. It would not. If this is the Super Bowl, if this is the 2025 Super Bowl 60, I would not be surprised. And who would I root for? Probably the Colts, just because the Colts, it's been a while since the Colts have been to a Super Bowl. Same with Tampa. Well, actually, no, Tampa went to it. Yeah, they went to it in 2020. But, so it hasn't been a while for the Buccaneers. But, let's talk about the Bucs real quick. Just real quick. Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers somehow put this team on the map. Because ever since Tom Brady has left the Buccaneers have still been good. They've still won the division every year. And they're going to the playoffs, and they're winning games in the playoffs sometimes. They didn't win last year because they had to play a tough Commanders team, but they got the 3 seed last year, and that should count for something. This year, they're 5-1 to start the year, and Baker Mayfield has looked unstoppable even though all their offensive players are getting hurt. They're still there. So, is this Buccaneers team, like, if Mahomes and the Chiefs weren't a thing, could we say that maybe, just maybe, if the Chiefs begin to fall off the scene, could the Buccaneers be the next dynasty? I mean, you got the Bills, so that's going to be tough. You kind of have the Bengals with Joe Burrow, but he's out, so it's not going to happen this year. But, and then you have Daniel Jones with the Colts. Maybe that's going to happen. But I see a world where the Chiefs begin to fall off, and the Buccaneers are right there. I think they are. In my opinion. The Colts have been the most consistent team this season, but the Buccaneers are a close second. That's why they're 1-2. Tampa Bay has just looked unstoppable. And yeah, the Buccaneers, maybe they'll be number 1. If they can beat the Lions and the Colts lose to the Chargers, I may put them number 1. But, well, no, I will put them number 1. But we'll see what happens. Right now, I think the Colts are slightly better, but we'll see. But anyway, those are my power rankings. I know I kind of went off course with the Buccaneers, but yeah, this has been a wild season. This first like 6 weeks. So yeah, thank you for 300 subscribers. We're already at the time of recording. We're already almost at 320 subscribers. So thank you. Did not expect to get this many subscribers at this point. I thought maybe I'd be lucky if I can hit 50 by the end of the season. We're already at we've like massively blown that goal out of the water. Yeah, is there a world where we maybe hit 1,000 by the end of the season? Who knows? But we'll see if that happens. But yeah, we've hit 300. Now we gotta get to 400, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, anyway,